So what we're going to do is have a method of practicing this, okay? I want you to memorize this.
Okay.
You can do it. And when the way that we're going to practice it is going to make it much easier to memorize. So what we're going to do is take it basically measure by measure, sometimes half measures. But these are exercises to help you with your clarity. Again, that's the main, that's our big word right now, is clarity. So we're going to start with the first measure. This is an exercise, we're going to hold down the middle note and go back and forth. So I'm just playing the first two notes. So you just, nice and staccato. The staccato will develop control. You're not actually going to play it staccato when you're actually playing it, but doing it that way helps you.
Okay.
Helps your brain figure it out. And then the next two. So I'm holding down C. So the first measure, I'm going to double them just for an exercise. Okay, and then when you actually play it, oh, I'm sorry. So once you can do it staccato, try them a little bit longer, but separate. Because when you play it, this is the real way. See how there's no space between the notes? They're right next to each other.
Okay.
But what we're trying to do is eliminate this, going like making it muddy.
Okay.
It's not so obvious on that one, but like the next one when we go, we want to get away from this. Just kind of turns into mush.
Okay.
What we want is nice clarity. Right? We want it to sound like this. A nice beautiful singing melody over the top. But to get there, the best way is to do it like this. Nice and short. So in your mind you have a very clear distinction between this note and the melody.
Okay.
So again, we're just taking this first half of the second measure and you just play it over and over again until it feels comfortable. And then we're going to go to the second half of the second measure. Put those two together. Put them together nice and short. Do it over and over again, and then when you feel comfortable, you can start to close the gap between the notes.
Okay.
In other words, play the notes a little bit less staccato, and then eventually, okay, but still clean and distinct from one another.
Okay.
So they're not bleeding into each other, but they're right next to each other. So your brain really knows which notes you're holding down and which notes are part of the melody. So from the beginning, the first two measures. Third measure, same as the first measure. Fourth measure, now we're holding B flat. Okay, and you're going to practice that the same as the other ones we did before. This one too, first half. Make sure you got the right fingering. Second. This one, okay, so all of those are separate. And again, the best thing you can do is just memorize that section.
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna memorize the whole thing, but nice and separate. And then only then can you start to close the gap a little bit.
Okay.
And with the pedal, it makes it really easy too, eventually.
But I'm gonna practice without the pedal, right?
Yeah, oh, no, yeah, no pedal.
Okay.
Not yet. I'm just saying eventually, when we
Okay.
get it all together. So your method of practice, we're going half measures over and over again.
Uh-huh.
Do it like this first. I'm going to go first half of the second measure. Nice and staccato. Get it nice and staccato. Once you can do that, start to close the gap until you can get it nice and legato. Almost legato. So there's a very clear distinction. You split your hand in two. And once you can do that, throw in the left hand. And at that point, you should have it memorized so that you can move on.
Okay.
So then we're going one measure at a time. We're going to go, after you do each one, right?
Okay.
Just focus on the clarity and everything will really come out.
All right.